But let me ask you, you ever seen like any of the ancient artifacts in Israel?
Yes.
You realize that those artifacts are dark like us.
Sure.
Right, so you said that,
How can you say that
he looked Arab.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't.
He looks
I
like.
never saw an artifact of a
I can
corpse
show you.
or something.
I can show you on
I mean,
my own.
there's no photographs.
You seen anything
no
from like the Romans?
No way. There's no way we can really know.
Well, yeah, you can.
We know for a fact he didn't look like me.
You ever
like
seen the Roman catacombs?
Of Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ didn't look like that. Jesus Christ was also dark. He was a Jew.
But what
from Israel.
you would say that we are blood descendants of Abraham.
Sure. If you are, yes. If you
well,
are, I don't know if you are.
Well,
if you tell me you are, I believe you.
Well, you believe you are, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, we're down at the UN trying to plead that cause.
But
it doesn't matter.
Interested in helping your cause.
Well, help us out.
You're a lawyer.
Yeah.
What type of law do you practice?
Well, this was today was all landlord-tenant, personal injury, criminal law. Those are probably and maybe divorce. The three major ones are. Lately, it's criminal law, landlord-tenant, and I used to do a lot of personal injury. I worked for a law firm that did personal injury. Personal injury is very sleazy, though.
Do you ever cover human rights issues?
No, but I like human rights. I'm very involved in civil rights, and I read that stuff, and I like Al Sharpton. I like civil rights leaders.
No, not civil rights, human.
No, yeah,
human
rights.
Human rights. Of course, I'm for human rights. I'm very progressive and liberal.
Yeah, I know your phone's probably going to go off in a minute.
It is.
You said you
want going off right now.
Well, you said you wanted to help our cause. We can use the help.
I might be able to do that. I can't give a donation.
Well, then how are you going to help us?
Do you have any friends that practice?
Then if you need someone to go to court, maybe, and I'm free that day, I could maybe go to court for you.
Would you do anything for a human rights issue?
Possibly, yeah. I would try to help you out. Give us your card. I don't have my card.
You seem kind of juiced up right now.
Yeah, I am kind of. I'm usually kind of hyped.
You kind of wound up?
I am. Oh, it's my personality.
It ain't drug induced, is it?
No.
I don't know. You seem kind of hyper to me.
What? You have any drugs? No, I'm kidding.
Now that sounds like something a Jewish person would say to a real Jew. Do you have any drugs?
I don't have drugs. I was kidding around.
Would you think I have drugs because I'm of the Negroid persuasion?
No, you mentioned drugs.
I don't know. Let me tell you.
What did you think? Let me ask you a question. This is not related to your topic. But what do you think about what Spike Lee said? Did you see the movie Django?
What did he say? Spike Lee didn't play in it.
Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, it was a great movie, I thought.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Spike Lee
it was great. It's about slavery. It was crazy.
Spike Lee didn't play in it.
Spike Lee had nothing to do with it.
It was Jamie Foxx. The only reason our people liked it is because Jamie Foxx.
Kerry Washington.
Let me ask you this.
Left and right. It was awesome. Slave owners. He's like killing them left and right.
Let me ask you this. Do lawyers supposed to
make... It's the greatest thing in the world. A slave gets freed and he's killing all these slave owners. It was exciting. And he's working with a white German guy. You saw it.
You look
that white German guy trained him. He said, you're going to be the best shot in the West. And he trained him. He became the best shot in the...
Dr. Schultz.
Yeah. He was German. He was a dentist. And he hooked him up.
What did that got to do with Spike Lee?
He saved his life, really. Oh, Spike Lee. And I thought it was great. I saw D.L. Hewley give a special on HBO. Excuse my language. I was going to say fuck. Excuse my language. It was so funny. D.L. Hewley, very bright guy. Funny, smart.
You got my pen?
Great.
Did I put that away?
Oh, my pen.
No,
that's not your pen. But I'll get if I did take your pen, I'll give it to you. And I could have easily done that. Yeah, is this it?
I don't know, man. That statement you made was kind of bigoted for a lawyer.
Oh, are you kidding me?
I don't know. You sound like you sound like you. I don't know, because you're kind of hyper. It was a legitimate question. You could have had a box of cereal that had extra sugar on it, as far as I know.
No, I had coffee.
You ain't bigoted at all, are you? Against other Jews? I don't know. It sounds like it to me. I don't know if lawyers who take the bar and represent people should be that bigoted, thinking that I sell drugs because I'm a Negro. Or the so-called Negro. If I'm a Jew, oh, okay, that was a joke.
You said, "Are you on drugs?"
Okay.
I said, "It's a joke." Why?
Oh, okay, all right. Oh, okay.
That's the only reason I said.
Oh, I get the funny now. I don't sound kind of bigoted.
It's not even that funny, but it wasn't bigoted.
Yeah, well,
you asked me if I was on drugs, so I said, "Oh, do you got any drugs?" It had nothing to do with your race. Or your skin color.
But hey, look, I should know that because a Jewish person wouldn't say that to a Jew.
No, absolutely not. No.
You're Jewish, we're Jews.
No. I have no implication that you're a drug dealer. It's crazy.
Yeah, because the tzitzis, I had to take them off.
Yeah. Like I lived in Bed-Stuy. Most of my friends are African American, and they're not Jewish. They're Protestant
What nation is that though? Now you're a lawyer. You're a very smart guy.
They're from Africa.
African American aren't Jews.
Yes, they don't know what state. Most of them are from Liberia, probably in Sierra Leone. Most of the slaves came from the Ivory Coast, Sierra Leone, and Liberia.
Well, most Jewish people actually, Jewish actually sold a lot of the slavers.
No, that's not true.
No, that is true.
It was the Spanish. All right, I
they
don't
were
want to
Spanish?
argue about it.
Hey, we're not arguing.
All right, good. But
I don't want you to get it.
I
don't want you to get
it. Spanish. No, I wanted to mention about Spike Lee.
Oh, okay.
Quickly. Okay, so Spike Lee said about Django that D.L. Hughley said. So then he says that. And then he says, I can't believe Spike Lee criticized Django. And he said that he criticized it because they used the N-word, the bad N-word.
Is there a good N word out there?
Well, Negro might be better than the other.
Well, Negro is not the word either. Negro, that's not a nationality.
I know. I'm just saying. I saw that Spike Lee, and I wanted to say that he used the worst word. He criticized Tarantino for using the word 166 times, and he went so far as to say that his ancestors were probably turning over in their graves. And I'm thinking the movie was supposed to be realistic. And if they're going to really identify that period the way it was, even the way they
Hades, because Hades killed every French person that was on that island.
They sure did, and they got their independence.
But here they don't talk about. They say Nate Turner and someone else, and that's all the rebellions they talk about.
But that, he just mentioned that, and I thought that was silly, and I agree with D.L. Hughley that just made the movie more realistic. The way Samuel Jackson, you remember Samuel Jackson? He had an interesting role. Yeah, right. And that was interesting, and that was true too. There were people like that.
Well, I mean, you realize that stuff's still in effect today, right?
He was crying when his master got killed.
Did you ever hear of a book?
And he jumps on.
You ever hear of a book called the Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews?
No, I would be interested in reading.
It is a very interesting read. In that book, it talks about how Jewish people actually were one of the main people that sold the so-called African Americans. Listen, you haven't read the book. Europe. How you know?
All right, I from my study of history, and even if you watch the movie Amistad, the Spanish in Amistad's a true story.
Well, do you know that the black? So you do know that the so-called black man was inside Nazi Germany then?
What?
You do know that black people
were not that many black men were in Nazi
I didn't listen. I didn't give a body count. I said they were there. Did you know that?
No, not really.
But you said not that many, so not that many
implies. I'm sure it had to be some Negro, whatever word you want me to use.
Well, listen. If you're Jewish and I'm a Jew, why can't you just refer to me as a Jew? Why do you keep saying African American?
I'm not calling you anything.
You just said African, Negro, and all that.
Because I didn't know what to use the proper word.
Well, the proper word is that we are Yahada, but we'll say Jew just for English purposes.
Yeah, I just didn't know when you were talking about people in Germany how I should.
Yeah, it's so-called Jew. They would be Jews too. That they were inside Nazi Germany with the Jews, or the Jewish people. They were there.
You said
because
that's really, if that's true, it's really not.
Look at the history. Go online.
No, I have.
Look at something called a Black Holocaust.
Okay.
And you'll find it online.
What was the other one? The secret relationship?
The secret relationship between blacks and Jews.
I mean, there's a lot of conspiracy.
Well, it's not a conspiracy. The history proves that a lot of the early, even like the good ship Jesus, that was owned by Jews.
Secret relations between black and Jews.
Right.
Let me tell you something. If there were a lot of Jews who were slave owners, I don't think you said that though. There would be.
They were.
There would. No, there weren't.
They sold. That's how they got rich here.
There would be African Americans today who would be Jewish. The reason why
all the
African Americans today are Protestant, or 90% are, because the slave masters were Protestant. They adopted the religion of their slave masters. So if they were Jewish slave masters, there would be Jewish, more Jewish African Americans.
Well, this is the thing. The Jewish people.
Every slave adopted the religion.
Well, the Jewish people.
That's why Charles Barkley's
Jewish people actually fund the Catholic Church and the Christian religion. They are the ones who fund it. Don't you know that the Christian religion gives Jews over $3 billion a year?
America gives.
Well, they give America too.
Gives Israel $3 billion a year.
Yeah,
That's correct.
America does. But I'm talking about the church also gives masses of billions of dollars.
Yeah,
to
because they're crazy. The Christian and that.
Well, you can't take somebody's money and then say they're crazy.
Well,
yeah, they look right.
Wait a minute, hold on. You said you were Western European. What country?
Belarus. That's my name. Even my name.
So what was the migration?
Belarus is right above Poland.
What was the
It's called White Russia.
What was the migration from Jerusalem during 70 AD, the sacking of Jerusalem? How did you guys get to Belarus, Russia?
Yeah, there was the diaspora where everyone spread to Iran, Iraq.
What history
I've met
is
Jews
that?
from Iran, Iraq, Syria, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan.
What book can I read to show that migration? Because inside, you read the book of Josephus?
No.
Well, why wouldn't you read Josephus? He's a Jew, right?
I don't know, but I think that's something
well,
to do with Christ.
Inside the...
Wasn't he one of the disciples of Christ?
No, he wasn't. I don't even know where he got that.
I don't know
The whole thing...
I know Joseph.
Josephus said that the Jews, what they did was, they went over that. Josephus said they went into Africa. That's where he said the Jews went when they scattered from Roman persecution.
Yeah, some of them went to Morocco.
No, that ain't what he said. He said they went into...
Jews in Morocco. I don't know what other countries Jews went to besides Morocco.
Well, that's what I'm asking you. What history can I look up to show that Jews...
I don't know.
Then how do you know what
happened?
happened?
Go to the Holocaust Museum.
I've been there. And with DC?
The DC one is great.
I've been to the DC one.
The best one is in Israel.
So let me ask...
Yeah. And
so,
then the Yad Vashem, you guys...
Are you
as Jews, you guys should go there
Are you related to Ashkenaz?
I'm not really related.
How are the Ashkenazis? What I'm asking you is, how are the Ashkenazis Jewish? You know, the Ashkenazis in Scripture weren't Jewish.
Well, my parents are Jewish. My grandparents are Jewish. My parents even speak Yiddish.
But
Jewish language.
Jewish that is a religion, right?
Yeah.
So how is a religion become a nationality?
Judaism.
Your nationality. Let me ask you something. If your religion is Jewish, then how is Jewish your nationality? You got to think. If you're Ashkenazi, that would be your nationality. So you would be similar to us. You would be Ashkenazi Jew. You would be an Ashkenazi Jewish person, right? No different than an African American.
Is that the Old Testament or the New Testament?
Oh, this is old.
Oh, you're actually in there.
Yeah. Well, you guys should be reading the Old Testament as Jews.
It tells you your father, your forefather, who it is.
Yeah,
Ashkenazis. Noah had 3 sons, right?
We're all members of the tribe.
Well, Ashkenaz was not a son of Abraham.
That's right.
Yeah,
so Ashkenaz is not part of the tribe.
So if you're Ashkenazi Jew, that's the truth. That's
most Jews are Ashkenazi.
Exactly, because they're European.
Yeah.
So Europe.
There are a lot of Jews who are Sephardic. There are 2 sets.
Sephardic, some of the Sephardic are our people, but go
Sephardic,
under that name.
And they're darker, and they're from Syria and Iran, Iraq, Israel, from hundreds of years ago.
Where's
Egypt.
the sons of Gomer? Where is it at?
They're
Sephardic,
and then the Jews from the European, when the diaspora happened and the Jews spread to Hungary.
Well, you say diaspora, the diaspora as in the exile, right?
Yeah.
The Bible talks about
Ashkenazi as in the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz.
That's what he's talking about.
I don't know. Honestly, I'm not that up on all this stuff, and I don't read the Bible.
We are.
I mean, I go, Passover, we have Seder. I Rosh Hashanah, I celebrate.
You said you have a Seder. What's a Seder?
I'm saying.
You don't know what a Seder is? That's what you have on Passover.
What is a Seder?
Okay, which one is it?
It's the celebration of the exodus of the Jews from Egypt.
That's called
who were slaves in Egypt. And Passover is the celebration of the Jews when they left and they were slaves in Egypt, and Moses split the Red Sea, and Pharaoh had them as slaves, and God said there's going to be 12 plagues, and first was vermin, beasts, blah blah blah, and the last one was killing of the firstborn. And the Jewish people had to put blood on their doors. That's why it's called Passover. So they put blood on their doors so God would pass over them and not kill their firstborn.
Show him Deuteronomy 28:68.
Oh, you see, I don't know this stuff.
Wait. We're going to show you.
I might know Genesis a little bit.
Show him Deuteronomy 28:68.
And most of the Bibles I see are in Hebrew, and I can't even read Hebrew. This is good. Where should I read it from? What?
68.
29?
68. 28:68. 28:68. Read it.
So 20, chapter 29. That?
No, right above it.
Oh, 68. Okay. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
And then hold on, stop right there. Shall bring you into Egypt again. The metaphor for Egypt is bondage. I'm just letting you know.
Right.
Go ahead.
Egypt again with ships by the way whereof I
Spake unto thee, you shall see no more again.
No more again, and there ye shall be sold
Sold
unto
unto
your
the
enemy.
enemy.
See, I
So
don't
who
a
do
lot.
you know-
I
who
don't
do you know-
believe that this
who
is
do you-
God's word.
So what?
Orthodox Jews believe that this is God's word.
So what book do you believe?
No, no, I believe that God inspired people to
Like what
write the
book?
Bible.
What
I
book?
don't. The ultra-Orthodox Jews believe every word in here, even the horrible things. They believe every word. Stoning
But you
people.
do believe the 12 tribes of Israel.
Sure.
See, this is what this is.
And there was a lost tribe
This
that
is
went
the
to
12
Egypt,
tribes.
and they were called. They were African. There was a tribe, and now they're in Israel. They're,
You mean Ethiopian Jews?
yeah, the Ethiopian Jews are in Israel now. I saw them.
Well,
They're in the
Ethiopians,
army.
according to the Bible, Cushites. They're not
They
Hebrews.
are referred to as sometimes philosophers.
Why don't you tell me something? How
Philosopher
does,
Jews.
Yeah.
isn't it true that a woman?
And they were starving to death, and the Israelis sent airplanes in, and instead of trying to give them aid, they just airlifted them all out and took them to Israel.
Have you ever dealt with a paternity test regarding like working as a lawyer?
No, but I've been in family court a lot.
So if a paternity test comes back that like 99% that it's a man's, does that mean he's the father of the kid?
Yes.
So let me ask you this: how is it that in the Jewish religion that the woman dictates whether you're a Jew? What's the paternity in that?
Oh, I would say that's 99% too.
So 99, I can give a woman a paternity test and they come back 99%.
Yes, absolutely.
So a woman has a seed.
No, but her DNA or
How does she matter
her
over
blood,
the father?
you can absolutely do a test. The doctors can do a test.
What's it called?
To prove whether that's
Your eye
your
is
mother
twitching.
or not.
I said, what is it called?
You mean the
paternity
mitochondrial
test.
DNA from the X gene they do, the Y's and the
Smart
fathers?
guy. I don't know. Maybe that's
What
it.
I'm-
I
what
don't
I'm- what
know.
I'm
I
saying
just know
is-
they can do a test to prove who the mother is.
What I'm saying is
It's a
that
paternity test.
what I'm saying is that how is it that the mother would dictate who's a Jew when she doesn't produce the seed to make a person?
From what I remember from Jewish studies in college, this is a long time ago, I'm an old guy. They in most religions it's the mother, and they felt it should be the mother because then then they didn't have paternity tests. So if the mother was carrying the baby, they knew for sure that the baby belonged to her. So then that's why she had got that religion, where they couldn't do a paternity test and they couldn't be for sure who the father was. So that's what I learned.
Well,
in
Jewish
studies.
that would be
That
backwards
the mother
because
was
of
pregnant. She's Jewish and she gives birth. So that's
well,
why
that
they
would be back.
decided to
That would
use
be
the
back.
mother.
That would
So
be
is that-
backwards.
Is that how family?
So if I marry a non-Jew, my children will not be
So
Jewish.
let me get this straight. How the Jewish don't go by the father when the father is the one who dictates the
because
DNA of the child?
I was taught. I'm just telling you what I was taught. That they go by the mother because the mother they didn't have paternity tests, so they didn't know who impregnated this person. So if this person was Jewish and she was pregnant, it was easier and gave birth.
So
they knew the mother's Jewish. That's why they.
So
used
how do
it
I
that
tie?
way. That's all I remember.
How do I tie anybody to Abraham going by the mother? Wouldn't I have to go by the father to trace?
No.
How would you do that?
They've already done it.
Who's they? What did they do?
I guess some of the engineers or expert scientists in Israel. They said that there's 4 separate mothers in Eastern Europe that we are all people like me are all descendants
Of these mothers?
Yeah, there are 4.
What mothers?
Who or whatever? Who are they?
It goes back like 1,000 years. I don't remember who. But
So let me ask you something. Can a woman have a baby without a man? I'm just asking.
Yeah, is it rhetorical? I mean,
well, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm just want your answer. Can a woman have?
Of course, yes.
A woman can have a baby without?
No,
a man?
she can't. Of course.